What do we say to stagnancy in the faith? What do we say to someone who really wants it? They really want to go deeper, but they feel just stagnant. Like there is no relationship with God. You know, there was a period of time where they were very, very on fire, quote unquote. But now it's just bleak.
I think for me, I guess it's that kind of evaluation of your relationship. I think sometimes, I'll speak for myself. I remember back in lockdown, I think like June times 2020, I got to a point where, I felt really stagnant, you know. There's only so much you can do at home, like the same worship songs every single day, the same kind of Bible study every single day. And, you know, I got to the point where I just sat in my room and was like, literally just cried out to God and said, God, you know, this is just not it. Like, I'm not really happy about being stagnant. I don't really know what to do. And I felt in my heart a scripture, I think it's Psalm 27, and it says, David says, I heard in my heart that, come speak to me. I'm butchering it, but you can find it. And in that moment, I realized that in places where I was stagnant in my walk, God wanted to do something with me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just, I'm dealing with this feeling by myself. And so for me, what I did was that not only did I speak to God, but I also reached out to my friends. I spoke to a couple of my friends and said, hey, I've been feeling like this for a couple of weeks right now. What can we do? And I saw myself doing Bible study with people, praying with people. I think I did some Instagram lives and stuff like that with people. And that kind of reignited my flame, because I realized that God didn't want me to do life by myself. Like, he created community for people, right? And for me, so I didn't just deal with my stagnancy alone. I dealt it with God, but also God used other people to help me. So I think in your evaluation, think about, are there things that you're doing by yourself? Maybe you can ask someone, be vulnerable with at least a friend or a family member and say, hey, I'm struggling in this moment. Can you pray with me? Could you spend at least 5 minutes a day just helping me so I can get back to it? Or can we study this particular scripture together? And all these different things. Or hey, can we watch this video and tell me what you think about this sermon? And when you use the resources around you, you find that you can actually go deeper. So that's just my answer.
Do you guys know James Moody? Yeah? So he was a pastor from back in the days, way away.
Words, all these words.
That's two. I'm on a row. Okay, so here's what happened with him. He's a pastor, theologian. He's written a lot of books, right? And essentially, he notices that a couple aren't coming to church no more. So he's going, what's going on? So he goes to meet them at home. So he travels to their home, knocks on the door. They're like, oh, pastor, how are you doing? Come inside. So the pastor comes inside. The pastor just wants to find out what's been going on. Now, before the pastor sits down, they have a fireplace. And so he takes 2 pieces of coal and he just moves them to the side. And he sits down and he chats to them. He explains to them why it's important to come to church. They're like, oh, yeah, you just got a new job. They're just having a grand old chat. A few hours later, the pastor's like, all right, well, it's been great. Hopefully I'll see you guys in church soon. Take care. Let's go, right? And then as he's about to walk out, he just tells them to touch the 2 pieces of coal that he moved at the start. When they touch them, they're like, oh, it's cold. And he said, that's what happens when Christians remove themselves from fellowship. They just wax cold. Everyone's like, why is it happening? They just wax cold because God designed us to live in close proximity with each other, to have a shared life. You know what happens when you have a shared life? When you spot somebody who's not on fire, you spot them, you go, whoa, 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 John, what's going on? But when you're so far away and distant that you can wax cold, it means you're not sufficiently connected to people. So you got to ask yourself, am I isolating myself? Am I moving myself away from people? Because if you're in real, authentic community, you won't even be allowed to wax cold. Because someone will spot it the minute it starts happening, they'll spot it. The minute someone sees you cut someone else off, they're like behind the scenes like, bro, what's going on? No, you're a bit aggressive there. You're like, what's going on? They catch it before it grows. It grows, and it gets to a stage where you're alone in your room thinking, no one can help me. So the answer to a lot of our issues is often community. Be deeply rooted. Be in a place where you're known, not just a place where people know your fashion sense or your haircut, but they know you and you know them. That's often the antidote to stagnancy. Get involved. Make your Christianity a contact sport. Don't sit on the outside watching.